All right, welcome everybody back to another episode of Stripped Raw, another Ten Commandments episode with yours truly, Cam, and the illustrious, the magnificent, the the sweet and savory, Fred.
I find myself an athlete, a contrarian, if you will, and thank
There you
you.
go.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother. Yeah.
of course. I'll let you pick one of Dave's nicknames for yourself and
Uh,
put that out.
Dave, what is he? He calls me whatever's dumb, I guess. And that's, I understand why he does that. It's his way of, leveling the playing field. So I
Yeah,
love him for
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, I always get a kick out of it watching y'all go at it. It's very sharp and quick, and then you're
Well,
just back
yeah.
to normal.
But that's
Yeah.
because, that's how you have to treat females. Gotta be gentle. Dave, my best girl. Dave, my
Oh
best
yeah,
girl. So yeah.
number one.
Yeah. Top.
Um, but yeah, we're here with Fred. We talked about it a lot for the Ten Commandments, and man, all the jokes and all the other things about the 27 commandments, everything. Um, Fred didn't come with his trunk full of ideas. He rented a U-Haul and brought them all along. And so we're going to attack this one a little bit different. He actually sent me over his list and how he sectioned it out. And I actually like how you sectioned it out because um, there's a bit of an explanation for each of them. Like they're not just the one word. So we're still remaining to the fact where everybody's different
Yeah.
and how they've attacked this,
Yeah.
um, which is really cool. But I guess, like you said, if this is the way you'd prefer it, we can just start
Yeah, you can
bouncing
start
around.
rattling down them, and we could just stop on something that kind of sticks out if you want to.
Yeah.
For me, these are things that life taught me. And the first one, honestly, not the first one. Where's it at here? The second one, that's a huge thing to me. Because even in what I'm about to say here today, as much as I can agree or disagree with all the other guys, we call them commandments just because it's kind of catchy, but you know what it is. It's kind of guidelines, it's
Mhm.
suggested. And I thought there's a difference between a man and a good man. And just because you're not a good man doesn't mean you're not a man. You could be sinister, you could be, cheap, lame, whatever, still be a man. Because it's pretty much you pass through a certain years of time on earth and you have a certain set of attributes, and technically you're a man, but do you want to be a good man?
Mhm.
And then are we talking to good men who are down and out and all alone in this world? Or are we talking to good men who are in a relationship and trying to improve? You know?
Yep.
So
Are
that's
you
kind
just
of where I
meeting
start
those
to,
minimum requirements,
right,
or are
so
you?
are you
Yeah.
just trying to survive or are you trying to thrive? Or are you trying to get to that next level? So that's why I kind of sectioned it off a little bit. So we'll say from the top, I learned from an old man in a documentary. He said, in order to be a man, you have to have two things. You have to have balls and you have to have a backbone, right? Balls to say what you think and a backbone to stand up for what you said. That was revolutionary. Um, it's not about being nice. It's not about being gentle. It's not about being fair. It's about being who you are. Whatever version of yourself shows up, that's you. May not be perfect. It never will be perfect, but you got to be authentic.
Hmm.
So it's like if you don't tell me who you are, and I'm always assuming, because growing up in Little Rock as a young man, there was a line we knew not to cross for the sake of racism, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So we dealt with a lot of this stuff, and I'm thinking, I'd rather know that you're racist than think you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I
Yeah.
can respect that. That's just who you are. Whatever. I won't deal with you. You don't deal with me. But if you're shaking my hand and acting all cool, but then on the other end, it's like you trying to set me up. That's shadier. So it's the same thing. Say who you are, mean who you are. Not everybody's gonna like you. My way is different than your way. And we all have that right as men to pave our own way. Whether I agree with it morally or fashionably, like I don't like how some guys dress. That doesn't mean anything. Who am I
Hmm.
to tell him he can't wear skinny jeans? Dave likes skinny jeans. I'm more of a boot cut. It is what it is, right? But who am I to tell you how to dress or how to live your life or what God to serve or this or that? That's not. I'm doing what I do for me and mine. You do the same. We'll align on some things and we won't on others. It's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I like that that was, I guess, your first one or one of your first ones, because that is, if I had to give you one attribute and one only, is that you show up as you. You are Fred,
I
a
truly
million
do.
percent. And in in your unique ways, in your general ways, and every other way possible. It's like you you're just, you're not just in your skin, like you are. I don't know how else to explain it other than um you're exactly who you are, and you can tell, like, it's that vibe comes with you.
Yeah.
And it's it's a powerful thing, I imagine, in practice. It's something that I work on, but also from an outward perspective is like you see that, and it's something that that kind of sparks something, like, all right, that dude is waltzed in here, he didn't just walk in, kind of thing.
True, true, true. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. um, yeah, so there was this saying heard as a kid said, you bury a chicken bone over here, you bury a dog bone over there, and you see which one comes back to you. And it was to say, like, don't tell everybody who you are, and you'll figure out who's talking your business in the streets, in a sense, right?
Mm.
And I was like, that's kind of clever, but isn't that a lot of work? Got to find a chicken, then I got to find a dog, got to kill him, get the bone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm me here, there, and everywhere. The same person you see here, you've met my mother, actually. Remember?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
the
I
same
remember.
dude in front of her as I am when we're in the shop, as
Yeah.
if I'm in front of my dad or my girlfriend or whoever else. Like, I'm always going to try to be a more truer, normal status quo of myself, which one of my whatever bullet points is to stay sober minded. Don't get caught up in the times. When things are high, just know that they'll be low. And when things are low, just know they'll get high again. Don't get caught up in that. Stay sober minded.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of
Yeah.
it. So I try to stay even kilter. I say it doesn't matter if you give me a bill or a check in the mail. I'm gonna treat them both the same way. Yeah, guess I got it. Whatever. Like
Yeah.
my boss, they missed one of my checks. It was down by like half. So it was like they sent me a $1,200 check, and I was like, I guess I get down to it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Like
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, and
You know.
that, it, like, the stay sober minded thing, and especially what you wrote here was excuse me, like, don't be taken back by your current status, and highs and lows, vice versa. But it kind of boils down to humility in a bunch of different aspects. That's the first thing I thought about, was whether I'm winning or losing. You got to kind of keep yourself straight. I could be up on this high horse, like, I'm better than everyone else, I'm killing it right now, all this stuff. But if you stop challenging yourself, it's very easy to fall off that mountain.
Yeah. I own an apartment complex. At the one point a couple years back, I had full capacity for the first time. I was making like double mortgage plus some. It was amazing. But I was like, yeah, but whatever. For the last 6 months, I've only had half capacity. Yeah, whatever. It's all the
Yep.
same. Comes out in the wash. It looks better on taxes the less I make. So always going to find the
Yeah.
silver. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
always going to find the silver lining. I'm going to keep burning through some of these. And yeah, so one of my favorite ideals I landed on was as long as you're not God, anything any person is preaching is at least 1% errant. That means never believe 100% of any man's doctrine. And also put on there, know your Bible, whatever your faith is, and always carry your sword, meaning know some of those verses so you can use them in the dark times. But the main point in that is I've taken guidance and aspiration from so many different formats in the podcast alone. Um, Andrew Tate is a big controversial person. I call him my spirit animal. I've never run a faster mile in my life than when he was in my headphones giving a motivational speech, calling me a bitch. It was like a sub
Mm-hmm.
8 minute. Like he does that for me. I don't take everything he says as gold. There are things he says that I don't agree with. But the stuff that he says that I do agree with, I absolutely agree with 100%,
Yeah.
And so I took one of his quotes that says, there's a line that you can magically cross. This invisible line you can cross where violence appears. As men, we know that. It's a
Yeah.
very real thing, and you can't see it, but when it's crossed, Now we're here, you know? And
Yep.
so I took that from him. I took a lot of things from him as far as just owning it, accountability, this and that. But then I don't really care about the Bugattis and the $1 million, this and the yacht, that, and all that. Like, that's not my thing. You know, I listen to Preacher Nava. They talk some sense. I listen to I listen to pretty much all of the main social podcasts just to hear what people talk about and where they're at and to see where my line is with them, you know, and to try to kind of redefine what I think. I have to hear somebody else say it in a different way. You know, I don't have all the answers in me. So,
Yeah.
and so then when I'm speaking, understand that I'm at least 1% errant in my way of living. So, because of that, I always am able to be in the wrong and be proven a better way to do things. I'm a student of life,
Yeah.
you know. That's the thing. As a good man, you should be able to be wrong, be corrected, and pivot. Once you learn a better truth, you need to do something about it. Or you're just going to be, it'll decay you if you don't accept better truths and change, you know?
Yeah. And that fact took me a while to really grasp because I've had, mentors or idols in the past, and without understanding in your words that they can be 1% errant, and you just take everything like gold. I mean, now you're living that dude's life or whatever, instead of taking those tools and using them later. It's like
Yeah,
now I'm just copying, which maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't. But in more recent times, especially with, I mean, as much information as I get from you guys, much different and as much merging information, it's you gotta put it in the pot and pick it out as it helps, kind of thing.
exactly. Like, so I can take Cobra's definition of love and I can respect it highly. Although I see love differently, I appreciate and I love the way he uses that terminology. I do happen to love guns. Sue me. You know, I really do. And I love my girlfriend. I love my mother. You know what I mean? Like,
You were
but
waiting to throw that in there,
you know
huh?
what I
You
mean? Like, but it's just I think of love in the three or four different ways that you can actually say it. I think love is the English term for something that is far more romantic inside, like language wise. So you have eros, philios, agape, and another form of love. There's like four different forms of love in the Bible, you know. And so when they talk about God, they talk about agape. They don't use that for anything else. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like we talk about my brother, I talk about philios, the city of Philadelphia, brotherly love. You know what I mean? So that's where those terms come from. But I love the respect he has for love, you
hmm
know. Um,
It's very sacred for him.
yeah. Now, as you can see, one of my verses says, my love is not a heart thing, it's a head thing. Did you read that one? It's
I
going
was
to be
trying to
down
find
in
it.
the
I did,
second
but
section. It's a shorter one.
okay,
Yeah. It says second section, probably
got it.
8 or
Yeah.
10. Yeah. My
Oh
love
yeah.
is not a heart skill, it's a head skill, right? Um, we're factories. We live and produce love as we do. But to love a woman, this is in the pertaining to women section. To love a woman is here. It's figuring out things about her. It's committing to the fact that she's going to be overly emotional about things, and I need to give her that space, but also be bigger than that space to encompass it. So if she shows up crying on my doorstep and I don't have the capacity to withhold it, I'll be like, well, that's crazy. Leave me alone. I don't know what to do with that. But if
hmm
I can be bigger than that and then encompass it and say, I can sympathize with that or I can empathize with that, I see how you feel in love. I can't fix it, but I'm here to listen. We can process through it, move forward. And it won't shake me because I'm bigger than it. You know what I'm saying? It's very important to be bigger than that.
So it's more of a conscious thing for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's more of a there's a commitment that's made. She's going to trust me with things, and I'm going to trust her with things. So, and obviously I'm bouncing around, but like one of the first ones in this section is about life isn't fair. It says in the second section, life isn't fair, so stop aiming for it. If you can't make all things, if you can't make all of your dealings with women and children unfair in their advantage, then don't deal with them at all. because you'll make the world a worse place because traumas affect them differently. So, but when dealing with men, obviously, you know, knuckle up. You know, this is what it is, brother.
Yeah.
Because we do
And
good. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And I feel like this is, at least to me, one of your staples. I'm gonna say it again just to really like hit it,
Yeah.
is if you can't make all your dealings with women and children unfair in their advantage, make it better for them, then don't deal with them at all. And that's something that I've even wrestled with, because I've made it public on this. And I mean, I'm actively changing learnings. The whole point of this is you guys are watching me learn from these guys. But I'm very selfish, in the way of like, at the end of the day, it's me. Um, but your ideas, Cobra's ideas, Dave's idea, like pretty much all you guys who are going through it or have been through it and have families and children, and you guys have this different perspective, or are making me kind of wrestle with myself, and like, it's not just gonna be, you're gonna be like fourth in line here in a little
Yeah.
bit. And
Intentionally, though. Yeah. Intentionally
yeah,
fourth. Yeah. Got the
yeah,
dogs, got the kids, got the wife. So, yeah.
yeah. And that's a hard thing for me to grasp right now, even though I'm telling myself that's how it's going to be. That's what it takes to be a man. That's the right thing to do. But that's not what I that's not what I feel. You know.
Yeah. I found that when speaking with the younger generations, saying it is only going to get you so far. You really have to fail at it to learn it. So one of my points, again, as we keep bouncing around, is it says here, well, one of them is don't be afraid to fail. Just, when you fail, learn from it. And then the other one is, dang, it was a good one. It actually, I just bounced it in and out of my head, though. Whatever. But yeah, so when you are when you are in it, like, because you can't learn it from hearing it. You can get prepared for it, kind of like if you were telling your kid, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, live your life like this. But when they get up and get out of the house, they still have to make their mistakes and then revert on the things they were taught. So, yes, absorb as much as you can, man, but the answers don't really make sense until you go through it. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what it was. It was, you can't get away from that pain. It was one of those, young man,
You have
you
to go
can't
through it.
avoid the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you can't avoid the pain. You have to go through it. This world is going to suck. And if you don't
Yep.
do it, you won't have any testicular fortitude for anything else, right?
Hmm.
If you don't go through the worst things in your life, then you won't have the depth to deal with heavy things, right? And so, again, when you ask anybody, guy or girl, would you change the worst things about your life? They would say no. Most, you know, a lot
Hmm.
of it, a lot of it they wouldn't change. Some things, yeah, absolutely. But for the most part, in my life, everything terrible I've been through, I wouldn't change it. I need that experience. I would change some of the good things maybe, but the terrible things, no, I need those because
Yeah.
those are the ones that pushed me forward, taught me something, built something, helped me. Because again, like when you pray for patience, the Lord doesn't send you patience. He sends you something to piss you off, right?
Yeah. To make you
You know,
practice it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He'll give you the opportunity to practice patience. When you pray for strength, he doesn't send you something light. He sends you something heavy, right? So
Hmm.
those are the things that got me to where I am. So I wouldn't change them, right?
Man, I've never thought of it that way. That's a good way of looking at it, because I imagine there's people who, I'm guilty of it too. You pray for these specific things. You're like, man, I just need some help right now. I need to be stronger, and then you just get dumped on even harder. You're
Got
like,
you.
what the fuck, dude?
Got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
So I
without
learned,
looking at,
yeah,
you get back through it. There's, in my personal experience, there was a time when, just in a very light example, there's a time when I was in 5 different schools at once and had a full-time job and a girlfriend and a home and, all these responsibilities and stuff. And I was sitting there like, this sucks. Why the hell am I doing this to myself? Everything, just put your head down. And now, I've knocked out 4 of those 5 and I'm finishing the 5th. And now that I'm here at this one, it's like, this is a breeze. I don't
yeah,
even have to think about this shit. Just,
yeah,
it's gone.
yeah,
And that ability to practice and raise your ceiling on whatever the matter is you know, undeniable.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
had this
man.
one marked. This next one,
Hit me with it.
um, I more or less not. I didn't mark it because it hit me, and I was like, "Wow!" I did it because it. I don't want to say confused, but I definitely wanted an elaboration.
Yeah.
Nothing is actually good or bad until you label it so.
Yeah. This is an old proverb from like a Chinese cat. There was a story where a farmer was walking home with his kid on the back of the horse, just walking back from the market or wherever. Kid falls off the horse, breaks his leg. The farmer's pissed at the horse. Bad thing happened, right? Next day, the military comes to recruit all the kids of his age and older, but he's got a broken leg, so he can't go to the military. Good thing happened. He
Mm.
broke his leg yesterday, right? You know what I mean? And then an inverse story. Hey, won the lottery. Awesome, right? Good thing happened. I won the lottery. $157 million. 2 years later, broke on the sidewalk. Still a good thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what I do is I always twist whatever's happening to be a positive. Girlfriend's nagging about something I don't understand. I'm going to patiently wait it out and see something in it that can. But this is good because it's better that you're telling me this than you're not because it means you still care about me at least. Because you wouldn't even
Yeah.
told me if you didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather you be missing me and upset than not missing me at all.
Yeah.
It's evidence that you care. You know what I mean? There's something good about it. I won't label things in a negative sense. And again, because the hard times make the strong men. So I'm always ready for that. Like, yeah, bring the hard things because those are the things that are gonna make me stronger anyway. So no, I
Mm-hmm.
don't label things as bad or good anymore. I also did a little bit of work in the quantum and kind of studying us on another level. But yeah, things aren't bad
You
because
don't
you
have to
could
drop
always
that
be.
on me at another time. You have to drop that on me because you
No
can't
matter
just
what
say
you're
that and
doing,
then walk
yeah.
away from it.
No matter what you're doing, you could have just stepped in dog crap.
Yeah.
That's a little bit worse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, hey, now that you put it in that sense, it's funny because I didn't understand it at first. It felt like a new topic, but that's in a spiritual sense. I've thought of that for a long time. Why did I get stuck in traffic? Well, if I wouldn't have gotten stuck in traffic and then I passed mile marker 75 on Route 4
Car accident.
and had
Yeah,
T-boned by a dump truck,
yeah.
that didn't happen because I got stuck in traffic.
You ever been like the third car to a car wreck scene? Like, if
Yeah,
you were 3 cars sooner, this is
yeah.
you technically.
And
I
then you
mean,
look back and like you forgot your wallet and you had to run back in the house real quick, you
right?
know?
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, I've thought about that stuff a lot. Um, and it's helped. At the end of the day, it's like it's all peace of mind, you
yeah,
know. Why are we
yeah.
stressing over these things that at the end of the day, it's either not that big of a deal or it's something that you don't have control over. So, you know, it's easy to say, especially in this context and these people that we're talking about, is
But you
like just be happy. But
no, but even still, because happiness isn't quite the goal. It's just be sober about it.
mm,
Haste makes waste is such a wonderful, terrible saying. Because when you're rushing, kick the thing, toe stubbed, drop the juice anyway. Like try to cut around the traffic and now you're in the long line. Like, haste makes waste.
yeah,
Enjoy the moment. You're in the first world, baby. Come on. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm,
how bad is it? First world issues. Man, my airplane lied. The seat was too far back, but it was air conditioned and they did bring food service. So,
yeah,
come on now. You don't have to
yeah,
walk there. That's for sure. So, Um, and I've spent a lot of time in third world countries to realize like first world problems are so funny, you know, And I don't like to make light of it, but like I'm never gonna die in a helicopter skipping traffic, and I'm never gonna die on a yacht. Those two things are for sure. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna have those problems. That's like rich people
you're
problems.
not coming out on my yacht.
I mean,
Fuck.
I try. But we good though. So we good though. I'm blessed, so we won't die. No, but you know what I mean. Like I have first world issues, but not like super first world issues.
Yeah.
Damn, my space truck, my rocket exploded in space. I don't have those problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
need an oil change. That's my problem.
Better off for it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so coming down again, I got this one I just came up. There's a difference between a good man and a man, right? 80% of us are not going to make the cut. And I'm absolutely okay with that because we do need guys to fill out the bottom of the pyramid. I'm not here to make everybody a better man. When you put out a podcast or when you do a seminar, if you look at the stats of how many people actually do all 10 steps, it's less than 10% people actually do everything that you're asked to do. Those are the only people that are going to make the cut to become the next Grant Cardone or to whatever. You have to find something in you or some commitment level. I've started 15 different courses on Arabic and never finished one. Like in some places I'm there, in some places I'm not. But if I did, I would be fully fluent in Arabic right now. You know,
Hmm.
so it's like there's an 80-20 rule, man, and it's a real deal thing. So not everybody's going to have it. Not everybody's going to get it. And some people will lose it and some people will gain it later. But,
Yeah.
sorry, we're not all going to make it.
Do you think that works situationally? So in Arabic, you're the lower 80%, right? You're that foundation building block. But in, you know,
I'm a weird case in Arabic because of all the guys I know that lived over there, I'm the only one that can read and write it also, but I can't speak it fluently. So I'm like, I'm not in the top 20 of like speaking Arabic, but as far as like I can read and write,
yeah,
that's kind of, I spent the first year just doing that specifically. So I got good enough to get in trouble, basically.
yeah, yeah.
But
I asked that because that's how, especially how like the fiance sees my parents and um, like most people would talk about this with see me is once I get my head into something, I'm just fully
yeah,
locked in, and
yeah,
there's very little things that I like pick up and just figure out how to do at a basic level and put it down. And I don't know what it is or why that's a thing, but most recently it's interesting you brought up language because for me it's been Spanish for the past, um, I think it's like 3 months now, 2 or 3 months. I've just been full force into Spanish. So I'm on like the Babbel app. I'm in Discord channels talking every
yeah,
day. I have friends in Argentina now that we just speak every day, and I've become, in the first 2 months I was fully conversational. So like I go to work, I can talk to Rooster,
right. So
and
I
it
love
just,
that. I love that, man. And like I wanted to get Babbel, they don't have it for Arabic.
mm,
And I was like, man, why not? And I don't even know how to use Discord, but I just want to talk to people in Arabic. So I used to hire people as tutors so I could sit and have
mm-hmm,
coffee with them and just, you know. But I
yep,
learn different than people teach. And so it's like, I'll tell you
that's the
what you can
same.
show
Yeah,
me, and then I can learn it that way. So,
yep.
but that's really dope, man.
Yeah, I'll hook you up
Yeah.
with I'll try and find like a Discord thing for you because that's been the biggest help. But regardless,
Yeah.
the point is like I don't know if there's a separation per event, with the lower 80, upper 20, because without blowing myself out of the water too much is most, if not all, things that I've dedicated any amount of time to, I've been pretty good or done pretty well at,
Yeah.
and
So you're the cream, you're floating to the top in anything you do. We understand this. But we're cutting the same cloth in that way. Now
mm,
you are what, 29?
26.
26. Yeah, bro.
Mm,
When I was 26 though, I like to think I wouldn't even recognize myself anymore for two different reasons. When I was 26, my physical and like drive was off the charts. But now that I'm 39, my mental and like cleverness is off the charts. So it's like I
mm-hmm.
can still tame a 26-year-old in wrestling, even though I don't have the gas, you know?
Yeah.
And you think about it like, young man, you can't handle this. But like, honestly, the 26-year-olds have the bone density and the strength together to be able to do it. And they bounce back still. Whereas like me, when I go wrestle, it's gonna be a week, it'll be a rough week. I'll remember it for sure. But
Don't feel it
it's
in the
like,
joints.
yeah, I don't bounce back anymore, and it's like, and if I think about it, I'm not even that committed to it like they are. I used to wrestle every day when I was younger. Now it's like sporadically every couple months I might get on the mat. So
Mm-hmm.
I could quickly get injured and I'm not bouncing back. I have more. to offer in this world than being a wrestler, though.
Yeah.
Taking care of my mother, taking care of my girl, this, that, and the other, right? Trying to do this, contract over here and everything else. Like, I know now, like, I love motorcycle racing. Absolutely love it. Like, GP was my stuff. Fear translates on the track.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. You rode. You
Mm-hmm.
raced. Yeah. Fear translates on the track. It'll take you a tenth a step, tenth of
Yeah.
a second, but every lap, 10 laps later, you down a whole second. A whole second
Yeah.
is like 2 turns away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You might as well be
So
wearing a high vis bib if
yeah,
you're out there scared because everybody
yeah,
sees it.
yeah, yeah. And so fear translates on the track, man. That's probably a good lesson for the young. And so as
Mm-hmm.
long as you don't have the fear and you got the balls, but once you have the knowledge, Valentino Rossi, one of the greats, you starting to have kids, starting to get married, starting to have other prospects. Technology's changing, and it's like, yeah, things just. He's not slow by any means. He's just not
Mm-hmm.
as fast as these other 18 dudes in the world who are really, really fast, like
Mm-hmm.
dangerously fast. And even the top three of them look different than the rest of the field. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man. It's a crazy thing getting old, and I'm feeling like I'm getting older, but I'm feeling like I'm fighting it a little bit, I guess. I guess we all try to fight it a bit.
Yeah. I feel like I'm starting to feel the little tiny effects of it just in certain like very specific areas. And it's weird because
Hmm.
up until 2 or 3 years ago, I still felt 16. And then all of a sudden I went from 16 to 25 and
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I'm here,
yeah.
25.
I still feel 19 sometimes, not like physically, but like in my head, I walk around like a 19-year-old, and I'm like,
Yeah.
grow up, man. Like, so
Yeah.
when you say these things, like people say how much I'm just me, real deal. Like, I still struggle with that like self identity. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
like I played open mic tonight. I got the video back. My girlfriend took the video, and I was like, I don't really recognize that dude. Is that really what I look like? I have no clue, man. I'm like, ugh, I should probably do something about that. Like,
Mm.
I don't know, but it's what people are used to seeing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we're kind of getting down the line there.
Yeah.
Anything else
Let's
jump
drop
out
down one
there?
more.
Yeah,
This one, I've been waiting to get down to this one, just letting it come naturally though.
hit it with it.
When the time is right, be disagreeable.
Amen, brother.
this one, this one, it made me chuckle at first, but it's something that I immediately was like, hell yeah, put that one in bold.
Yeah. If you're a yes man, you're not a man.
Mm.
You can't agree with everything somebody says. You just can't. You know, if you find that you agree with everything somebody says, perhaps you're not being honest to them.
Yeah.
And one of my points is the burden of honesty. The punitive, or how to put it? I tried to word it smart. Like, the punitive burden of honesty is on men, not women.
Hmm.
And that one kind of bounced fast. Okay, so let's keep it with it. So
Yeah.
you got to be disagreeable.
No.
So here's your chance to disagree with me, right? The burden of honesty is on men. The burden of truth is on men. For this simple fact, and this is in your relationships with men and women. If you lie to a girl and she finds out, no matter how long you've been doing good by her, she can question everything you've ever done and say, "Did you ever love me?" Just on a lie.
Mm.
Hold things in question. Yet we expect women to learn how to subtly lie to us to make us feel good about our ego as we get older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cunning. If it wasn't the case, strip clubs wouldn't exist. They have to lie to their clients from the moment they walk in the door. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love dancing for you, you
Yeah.
fat sloppy. You know what I mean? Like, it is not like the cream of the crop dudes. It's like terrible looking, overweight, lazy dudes with a couple of bills and like with all the crap that goes on between, like unprofessionally, like whatever. They gotta put on a face and lie and act like they're happy to be here. Women have that skill. And if you found that your woman was a little bit facetious or whatever, you wouldn't be like, well, damn it, I don't trust you. Like, I mean, I just said, look, just make it sound good, baby. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
love you either way because love is bigger than lies. But
Hmm.
just make it sound good. I don't know. Like, I trust you, I guess. I don't know. Far enough. Look, I'm here to
Yeah.
support you, right? So, you
Well,
know,
in the spirit of being disagreeable,
yes,
it's
sir.
funny because how this topic just dropped, but um, this is one of the things that you've been consistent on that I again have wrestled with, and I don't think I'm a very, we'll put it this way, the way I believe is relationships come love whatever 50-50, or
Hmm.
even it floats. There's some days where I got to put in
Yeah,
100, you can't put anything, I get that,
yeah,
but my general understanding of how you put it is more or less that the man holds the majority of it, and he's like, put it all on me,
yeah.
do whatever
So,
you need to do. And I don't know if I don't know if I don't comprehend it, or I just don't rock with that, or what.
yeah. And you know what? At this point in your life, you don't have to, you know. It's such a beautiful thing to be in a place where you're at. Like, it's not high school love, but like, it's your first, you about to get married, bro. Like, it's your
Hmm.
first time. But what I found is men lift more weight than women, physically and emotionally. Even if they don't think we're emotionally mature, we still lift more weight because we have to control whatever we're feeling, still go back to work. So what it comes down to is if I trust a woman to pick up the hammer and fix my relationship, then what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I better have a hammer too, right? But now when she goes on her emotional roller coasters that they go on, I'm not allowed to do that because if I join in that ride, we are not going to end in a good place. You learn that after some years. It's called the crazy train or the crazy cycle. Crazy cycle is what it's called. And like, there's a book called it's called Love and Respect. Dope book. Yeah, but it's called the crazy cycle. And what happens is if you didn't wash the dishes and she did this, and then you come back around, you can keep spinning until
Yeah.
you just like, yo, we just need to chill. Like, I don't know what's going on, but somehow we're enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah. No, I
that's
mean,
not
I've
good.
I've been
Yeah,
we've had one or two of those, and that's
yeah,
where you go, well, you didn't do this. Well, I didn't do that because, and then
yeah,
like you said, you're just wrapping around. And I'm very fortunate in the fact that both of us can see that and rationalize it and go like, all right, what are we doing here?
mm,
But now I mean, it happens.
yeah. So as I feel men are responsible for women, I believe the hierarchy is God, man, woman, child, 100%. For that reason, I'm responsible to God. I'm responsible for women. Women are responsible to me and responsible for children. Children are responsible to women, men, and God. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
And that hierarchy, again, I'm very much about the differences between men and women. Because of that, there's just certain things that can happen to you that couldn't happen to her, period. And then there's some things that she can do that you just can't do, period. The the sweeter spot is the lower spot. Like God to me, God lets me be the worst kid he's ever had, and he still loves me. He still chooses me like his favorite son. I know that. And it's not fair to him. But because he's loving me and taking care of me, he's bigger than anything I can do, and he encapsulates it all. And I learned from God how to love a woman. It
That's
is it
that's
is
an
flat,
interesting point of
yeah,
view.
it is flat out unconditional with no benefit. Whatever she does, it won't benefit me. I just like seeing you do what you like to do. I don't even like what you like to do. I just like that you're happy doing it. You don't have to include me with it. Just, I want to be able to encapsulate the best and the worst of you and be there for you. Whether, because women need to be loved in their highs and in their lows. And we're there for that. That's unconditional. Just the way my father taught me how to love. That's how I love a woman. Okay? And she loves kids that way. Because don't nobody really want to be up at 4 a.m. with no infant. But they'll have another kid and another one. Like, you did this before. You know it was bad. I said, if it was up to men to have children, we'd be like, yeah, no, I saw what happened to Lou. Not doing it. Not doing it. Snip, snip,
Mm,
right? Dudes could not maintain the race. We're too logical for that, you know? And so, woman loves the child. All the child has to do to be a fair recipient of that love is to respect what the mom says, or the parents say, if you will, right? Do your homework, brush your teeth, do the laundry, blah, blah, blah. In the same sense as I love a woman, I don't want her to love me back. I don't need cards and Valentine's and all that. I just need you to respect that. You chose me to lead you. And if I'm like, hey, let's make a left, let's just make the left. That feels like love to me, you know? And in the same
mm-hmm.
sense, yes, I love God, but He's not here for that. He wants me to respect and fear Him if I was going to do anything. Of course, the love that God gives supersedes logic. It's irrational, it's non beneficial to Him, and it's a free gift. So I can't even earn it if I tried to. Getting into church now. But yeah, so it's not the same going down as just going back up. So
Yeah.
in my relationships, I'm responsible for the women. So if I have to take care of your bills, or if I have to take care of your kid, or if I have to fix your car, or whatever, these are my lane. Now, if I'm hungry, that's not necessarily my lane. That's what I'm there for you for, right? Hook me up. Because, you know, I got the outside. I make sure the dog is clean. I do this, burn all the trash. I do all that. But, you know, if I'm hungry, I should just be able to be like, yeah, but, you know, I could eat a little bit. But she probably
Mm-hmm.
already asked me anyway. You know what I mean? So there's a level of respect. She don't have to give me love. She respects me. She respects my belly. She's there for me. Not a lot of things I need
Okay.
from you, but what I also need you to do is I need you to tell me exactly what you need from me or what you need out of this world so that I can go out and get that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not your job to get your hands dirty. It's my job, you know? So it's not an even relationship. It's never going to be equal. And in fact, I want it to be 70-30 is kind of my average where I like to be at. So,
Okay.
yeah. And it
Yeah, it's
works out that
definitely.
way.
I've thought a lot about your perspective on that, and I've heard it many times in different ways. Um, but yeah, it's a it sparks something every time I
Yeah.
talk to you. I'm like,
You
well, I
wrestle
don't
with it.
know,
You wrestle with it, brother.
Yeah.
Think about it. In your own time, think about what you do for your girl and if you want her to do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we got? Here's a good one. Underwears for women and children. You'll understand when you're older, though. Learn to play the
Yeah. I don't
principles
get
of
that
chess.
one.
When you figure out how to not wear underwear, brother, you're in a whole nother level of freedom. That's all I'm gonna let you know.
You're telling me
It's
you
free
free ball all the time?
all the time, bro. Unless I have to be like running or working out. Like I don't free ball in yoga. That's weird.
Why is this on your list, bro?
It's the real deal, bro. I'm trying to help. I'm here to help. Real deal. That's one of my things, bro.
All right. All right.
Learn the principles of chess. You don't have to be good at chess, but you have to understand that chess tells you everything you need to know about your style of attack and defense. So if you want to
Mm.
get better, figure out how you keep screwing up the game of chess.
There's a movie. I'm gonna mess all this up. I forget the title of the movie. I forget the main character, the actor's name, all this stuff. But it's a true story about this guy who he got out of prison and he was a janitor at a school. He got some substitute gig for detention, and then he opened up the House of Chess. I think it was
That sounds so
Baltimore,
familiar.
DC. I think it was in DC, and basically he more of the story, he got all these kids in detention who were all bad kids or whatever into chess and taught them through chess life and how to be better people. And one of the things that really stuck with me was um, that you protect the king The king is all, most valuable, but that doesn't mean he's the most powerful. He's actually the least powerful on the board.
Yeah.
You do all your damage with the queen. The most powerful piece on the board is the queen, and you protect the king at all costs.
Yeah.
Now, if you reverse that, whatever way, you treat yourself like the king, and whatever it be, but there's a level of protection in the moral somewhere in here, and a level of vulnerability that can be learned.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's so much to analyze about life through chess. I know that I'm slow to strike, and it's evident in chessboard. I'm far too friendly with enemies, if you will. But I do chance it because I want it to be a fair fight. When I was a wrestler, I was an all-state wrestler. And if I wrestled somebody that was terrible, I would wrestle at their level. They're not going to win, but I'm not going to like
Mm-hmm.
make them look stupid. Like, we just wrestle where you at, brother. Your
Mm.
parents are watching. Let's have a good time. You know what I mean? I mean, that was me, though. And I mean, I can't count the number of times I would be at a tournament and I'm out there getting something to eat, and some parent would come up and say, "Hey, you did really good out there. You wrestled my son. You like one of our favorite wrestlers." I was known just for being like a solid dude. Like, where you at? That's where I'm at, brother. Now, if it was a dick, I would, I'd fold him up. Like, yeah, I'd do some damage to like some crappy dudes. But like regular old kids just want to learn how to wrestle. You just got to have good competition. You don't have to win every time, which is one of my points. Winning is not the definition of a man. In fact, we champion these men like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, who've spent an uncountable number of hours failing at a free throw before we see them perfected. Failure is the part of a man, not the success. You can't let failure deter you from what you have to do. That's the facts. Don't be afraid to fail. It's part of every success story.
I mean, it's something that I'm pretty sure we have a whole podcast episode on failure,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
not only I don't want to call it the benefits of it, but the lessons you can learn from it, but the necessity of knowing how to do it. I mean, there's countless guys out there. I've been that guy when I was younger and racing and not understanding how to lose and freak out. I'll throw myself under the bus. My old roommate, my really good friend, since we were real young, he beat me one time, and I got so upset by it that I went to like whip off my neck brace, a big piece of plastic like neck brace, and there just happened to be a little kid nearby that wanted to come up and tell me I had a good race, and I whipped this thing off, looking away right into his head.
Oh,
And yeah, the little kid was like screaming, and all he wanted to do was tell me I had a good race, but I was over here throwing a fit. And stuff like that sticks with me. Is like, and then you learn all this stuff. Is like, what a what a little boy, just throwing a temper tantrum
all right, right.
because you didn't know how to learn a lesson.
We can judge. We can judge men just from the externals, right? You can see a dude in a room and already judge where he's at. We're not very deceptive. You can see it from the outside. Just give him a problem, see how he handles it. Wouldn't know where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're rolling into this. So we did hit the like it or not, there's an invisible line that you can cross and violence
Yep.
appears. Got to respect that. That's part of being a man. So you don't do things that would cross that invisible line. A man doesn't always win. In fact, he loses more often. But he can't let failure be a deterrent. Right? That's the one we just hit. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got this little one here because society has always got something. From the Romans to the Brits to whoever, whatever society, there was always some type of like societal clout. So I said, don't chase societal clout. Recognize what's a trend and what's real. And in this current society, two big words that pop up. Know the definition of narcissism and alpha. And I chose those two because narcissist is always a negative thing in the society. But in order to be a man, you have to be a little bit narcissistic. You have to believe yourself, no matter what anybody else says. You have to be manipulative with it, but you have to be slightly narcissistic. But in order to be a good man, you don't want to be an alpha. Alphas care nothing about anything else. That's actually all they are, is just self driven, self inspired. And as long as they're faster and stronger than any other wolf, they can be the alpha wolf. And you only can win that position by dethroning the champ. I'm faster still, bruh. So
Mm-hmm.
what we gonna do, you know? And that's just what it is. He's not even the oldest wolf. He's not the smartest wolf. He's just faster and stronger. That makes him the alpha. Don't be that. So don't follow these trends, especially with social media and everything. You got to get away from that. As men, look at the real definition of what you are. Don't let other people define you or shame you into being something. Just, again, because you can be disagreeable
Yeah.
and we can still get the job done. Yeah.
So I can't make dance renegade videos on TikTok. That's what you're saying. As a man.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, is
But
there
if
a
that's what
better
you
way
were
to
doing
use your
before,
time?
keep it up. Yeah.
Yeah, don't let nobody make you do it. Don't let nobody stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
So because again,
Yep.
like, so I don't believe that a man has a certain stature or this or that. Although I'm capable of achieving the violence, there are men who are capable of hiring people to achieve violence for them. Still men. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's all the same. Be able to protect what you got to protect. Be able to provide for who you got to provide for. However you got to do it. Some nerd that's got a billion dollars through crypto is not any less of a man than me unless he can't be disagreeable or he can't stand his own ground or he doesn't have a backbone. But if he can do everything I can do, but he can hire somebody to do the dirty work, why wouldn't you? You know,
Mm.
it doesn't make you less of a man. So, and if you're in a wheelchair, that doesn't make you less of a man. So I always contend with people's points, right? So, and Dave cleaned it up, but I remember when he said, you have to be able to carry your house out, your family out of a fire, and I'm like, but if you're
Yeah.
in a wheelchair, you can't do that. And I think he cleaned it up and said, yeah, that's not how he was saying it. But ideally, if that was your standard, that I need to be able to carry my family out, and then you lose the ability to walk, you would struggle to think you were a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the definition, right? So you got to really you got to weed it out. You got to find what works and what doesn't, but
Yeah.
it's up to a man
Well,
to
and that's
choose that.
why, that's why we don't have a master episode of Ten Commandments, right? Because everybody's are different. Um, I mean, physically, and I remember what Dave was saying. We were talking about like physical fitness and taking care of yourself or your family, stuff like that. But if you're not physically able because you're in a wheelchair, you're disabled or something in some way, obviously you have a different step in place right there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it doesn't make it any worse or different. This series has the biggest thing it's proven to me is how not only are the points different, which I expected, but how you guys have each come across your points and how you display them are all completely different from one another. I've had to do very little producing in this series because each person, I throw the question out there, and each person is like, yeah, I like to run at it like this.
Yeah.
And
Let me give it a go.
all right, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it just accentuates the point that much more is like, everybody's is different. You can take things. I'm taking things from every one of these guys. I'm taking more than a couple from each one of them and putting them on my own list of values and how I view myself. But um, you know,
Yeah.
that's for me.
So
Yep.
then, rolling down it, I think we went over the life isn't fair idea, right? We covered that life isn't fair topic. So
Mm.
this next one is a huge one to me. It says to this young man, it says, "Sir, how many ideals do you champion that don't benefit you directly? As a man, if the only thing you want to stand up for is what benefits you, you're missing the point. Chivalry doesn't benefit men. Should you stop holding doors? You know, whatever's going on in this region about this, and I'm not like, not to get political. I'm not a Democrat. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, I think it's important for a man to, put some skin in the game for somebody else who couldn't otherwise do it. Just
Yep.
because, just because. Like, look, be
Yep.
more than just about you. Give to homeless people. Volunteer to school. I don't know, whatever, and don't take credit for it. Don't take a video out when you do it. I'll tell you, my thing is, I keep cash in my wallet, but I never spend cash in stores. I only keep it for when I cross a homeless person, right? I'm just like, oh yeah, here's a crispy 20, whatever. There's
Mm-hmm.
never a news or a video feed about it. It's just what I do. So whenever I go to ATM and they ask, you know, how much, I take the full amount I can take out, and everything I don't spend on what I need to get, I just keep it for homeless people. So I end up, you know, you surprise them. It's a really good thing. But
Yeah.
do something for somebody that doesn't benefit you. You're just a vessel of the gifts that have been given to you. Be a good steward. Share it, you know.
Yep. Yeah. And that comes in many forms. I mean, I almost like yearn for opportunities. Um, I don't know why. I was thinking about this today. It's weird that you brought this up because I keep a med kit in my car. I've ran into, you know, in my lifetime 3 fatal accidents where I was, you know, one of the first ones there and able to try and help. Um, and because of that, I keep a med kit and some supplies in my car and stuff like that. And I have, you know, I'm capable, I have the knowledge
Yeah.
and the drive to do it. So, and then I took my other car out today, a little joyride, which does not have any of that in it. And I was halfway to my destination. That was one of the thoughts that ran through my mind was like,
And
man,
what if
what,
you see
like
somebody?
this is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna
Yeah.
be when I come across where somebody needs my help or needs these things and I don't have
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And you know, things like that is I don't know that I can say that, you know, even helping somebody walk across the street, I don't know that I can say that I don't get any benefit from it because it's a feeling that it's a
Yeah.
rewarding feeling
Yeah.
at the same
It's
time.
non tangible.
Yeah.
It keeps you grounded. It keeps you connected to society in a way that's far more effective, I think, than like some Toys for Tots thing. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. But like on a more personal level, somebody sees me,
Yeah.
you know. Like, and I mean, and so, and like, I'll be at a Starbucks or something, and some homeless dude's out there just begging for $2. Like, yeah, I got a two and a zero. You know, like, yeah. He said, man, thank you. Don't worry. Look, man, it ain't my money. I just had it in my wallet. You know, I was holding for you, brother. I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah. Cash is free money.
yeah,
If you find cash. Oh, all right. Do
yeah,
whatever I want with that.
yeah. And I've been blessed so many different ways. Like, this is not. This is for you,
Yeah.
man. I was never going to spend it. So, absolutely, man. Let's do.
Hmm.
Uh,
Um,
what we got next?
all right. Hmm. A good woman should be the main character of their stories. Good men shouldn't.
Absolutely.
In
Um,
what way?
because I believe, and you'll see it somewhere in there, young boys are born with very little value and a lot of uses. And I think young ladies are built with very few uses and a lot of value. They're priceless, our daughters, you know. And so as we go through life, a man is a boy who figured out how to gain value with his skills and his uses. And the chief of the women, the best woman you can find is a woman that's preserved her value when you find her. It's completely different, right? We start on a different end of the pyramid and we work our way back to each other. So when you look at this idea, a woman has to look at herself like the main character of the story. She has to care about herself. She has to protect herself for the future she wants, for the family she
Hmm.
wants. We we need to be serving people. We need to be learning things. We need to be gaining experience, knowledge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we can never be the first because as soon as we find the family we want to support, we put ourselves in the back of the line again. And a good woman is the one that says, "We don't eat till Father sits at the table."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a song by James Mark McMillan, "We don't eat till Dad sits at the table." Pretty dope, man. But you know what I mean? Like a woman, out of her
Yeah.
respect for you, will make sure the kids understand. Pop gets the big piece of chicken.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to fight for it. You've already done all the work. You put
Yeah.
this chicken on. You know what I mean?
And these are like, I feel like they're kind of, I don't want to call them, I don't want to call them this, but I'm going to call them this because it's all I know what
Don't
to
call
call
it
them.
that. No.
But it's like older ideals.
Traditional.
Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
traditional way of, you know, relationships, whatnot. But like, I've been watching this Viking show and the relationships and like how like husband and wives, and there's a lot of parts where it's like, oh man, like, that's that's messed up because they were literally just females were just property to
Yeah,
the husband then. But
yeah.
in the sense of like how they treated them, like you said, sitting down to eat or holding that respect, and it's a very different compared to now.
In that same scenario, though, when a female was just property, still good men were found. Good men who found that I've got a good woman. I'm going to treat her better than this property. I'm going to
Yeah.
marry her, put her name on the deed, this, that, or the other, make sure her kids can read and write, whatever. Still good
Mm-hmm.
men were out there. And so that's where, like, my girl's lineage comes from something like that, where it's like, um, the great 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 grandmother was fortunate enough to marry a good dude who saw her as what she was, took her on, schooled up the kids, and kind of got some land in her name and pushed it down the generations type of thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to, again, as men, all those dudes are just feeding off the idea that, yeah, women are property are all sheeps. They're all just taking it as they can get it. Like, it's more than that.
Yeah.
You got to go deeper than that. Really look at this person and
Hyenas.
say, yeah, you know what I mean? And that 20% of dudes saved this civilization, like opened up the idea for women to have rights and own things and everything else, because the truth of it is, sad but true, if tomorrow, and I thought about this, heard in the podcast, so it's very true. If tomorrow a law was passed that said women are property again, what could women do to stop it? They could fight all
Yeah.
they wanted, but they couldn't stop it. It takes
Yeah.
men to fight for that. It does. It takes good men to say, no, they're not going to be property. That's us. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
it's crazy, but physically you can't do anything about it. No
Yeah.
matter what you know, no matter what your job is, if a law passed tomorrow, none of that matters anymore. But men like me won't let that happen. Men like you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's enough of us out here to say society's kind of probably decent, even though it looks crappy in first world terms. Technically, it's not Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
You
that's
can,
I mean
you know,
that's a whole nother topic
right?
because I've been
Out
there,
of
you've been
yeah,
there,
yeah,
we've seen it,
yeah.
and
And I
there's
can,
plenty of places all over this world where I'm a zip tie myself here, but where a lot of females who say a lot of different things out into the world went to any of these places, they'd be
yeah.
just done for,
There's been
and they
stories of
think
yeah,
I'm not saying stuff can't be bad. There's stuff that is bad and
no
could be
doubt,
better. There's
no
always things
doubt.
that could be better. But, you know,
But
the
there's
amount of things that are said is,
yeah.
uh,
When you look at the actual differences, this is the best country in the world.
hmm,
It
I
just
agree.
is. Yeah.
I agree.
And it sucks sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are cruising up over the hour mark. Are
Yeah.
there any more that you wanted to really hammer on? I've been throwing X's on the ones that we
Did you
covered. So,
did you have one that you wanted to go? Did we talk
hmm.
about the love is a head skill, not a heart skill? Uh,
Well, we kind of just touched into to be a man, I'll just say it to put it out there, but we kind of went through it. To be a good man, you have to do the things you're supposed to do. Yet to be a good woman, you have to not do the things you're not supposed to do.
yeah.
Um, which
Holds us to a
I
different
feel like,
standard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel
And
like we kind of just touched on it, how men, you have to go out and build yourself and you have to do the things you're supposed to do and create your worth. And, uh, as you stated it before, was that women just pretty much have to not do the things to diminish their worth.
right. And you can do anything else
Yeah.
you want, but like it or not, there is there's consequences to things. And it's not fair, sure, whatever you want to say, but the fact is all things as they are, there are consequences to the things that you do. For both of us. We have different
Yeah.
consequences though. So yeah. I think we kind of everything kind of ties into each other, very much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very much, and I was really trying to cut it down. I really deleted about half of my notes to just put this in here and kind of
Okay.
try to sum it up.
I think these are two separate ones, but I'm interested in this one, and I think we'll close out on this one maybe, but
Okay.
um, don't fold under the weight of a woman's gaze. It's a sign of weakness she's been trained to notice from a mile away. What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
And then again, it does tie into the next thing. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it does tie into that. So, both before relationship and in relationship, it's the same thing. Like if you approach a woman or you walking past a woman in public, how you look at her or don't look at her, she'll take as a sign of strength or weakness. She's judging that already. Okay. Not to be a hyena or something, but if you're going to be confident about yourself, it starts right there. Right. So now in relationship, dealing with the lady, she's got an issue, she's feeling a certain way about something, and you know it's not quite all the truth, it's more emotion. In fact, you don't fold under the weight of it, you don't cower, you don't look. It's going to feel like you're in trouble a little bit, but she just needs to vent that out. Once she said it, you look at all the pieces, you can put it back together and say, see, here's where it's at, love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You really have to keep a cool head. You have to let women are fires, they're flames. You got to let them burn. You can't like muffle them and be like, yo, be more like a dude. No, I love your fire. You know, bring it, burn it up. I'm bigger than that. Burn it up. I'm the ocean. You're the fire. So you know what I mean? Like, so there's a part of that in where like when I talk to a girl and she's giving me the business, and I'm like, okay, I mean, you're gonna say what you gotta say. It's coming out emotionally. I'm not gonna respond to it that way. I'm not gonna fold to it either. Here's what it is, love. Let me re-explain it to you.
Mm.
You know, and you're not in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, I
Yeah.
grew up with a single mother home, so it was like being in trouble from a woman kind of traumatizing it a bit. Like, I'm scared to piss off women because my mom, you know, like, but now I've grown past that, and it's just a level of like comfort with the fact that I don't have a perfect plan. I'm doing the best I can, and sometimes I make mistakes. But if it's an honest mistake, love, you just gotta let it roll. We can correct it and keep moving. And even if you make a mistake, I don't even like to hear you apologize. Honestly, I appreciate it, but like, look, I don't get off on that apologizing to Fred stuff. Like, I'm nobody. Look, I loved you before you made the mistake. I'll love you after it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter, you know. So, yeah, something
Mm.
like that.
Okay.
Be easy, baby.
Um.
That's the be easy. That's the word.
Yeah. All right. Is there any? Could you pick any one of these to kind of headline? Which one of these do you carry on your chest?
It's got to be something in the form of humility. Like you're not all that. I don't know how it all fits together. How to say it, but like, look, bro, you're still learning. If you're not dead yet, you got work to do.
Mm.
So treat people the way you want to be treated. Understand it won't come back the same. Always make it a better deal for anybody that's dealing with you. That's how I do it. If you come to me, I want you to be glad you came to me. Like to fix a jet, to fix a car, to loan some money. Because I don't give out loans. I just give away money. You know what I mean? Like, can I borrow 200? Nah, bro, you can have it. If you want to bring it back, that's on you. That will let me know how you feel about it, you know. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, it's yours, bro. Free loans. You know, when
Yeah.
I give advice, I say, look, I'm not going to be offended when you don't listen to this because I know you don't listen to advice. That's human nature. So when you don't listen to this and you still have issues, come back to me. I'm still going to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't take yourself too seriously, but you're not a joke. You're the moving force of the world. You're the safety of your family. I don't know, man. The whole thing. Just don't think you got it all figured out. I guess I would say the 100%, 1% error. Everything you're doing, you're still going to have at least 1% error. Keep learning.
Nice. Yeah. I Man, I'm fighting between two right now, but I think I might have to. I think I might have to honorable mention
Yeah, do
nothing's
it.
actually good or bad until you label it so, and that whole viewpoint. But
Yeah.
balls and backbone. That's I
Coming
like
in from
that.
an old dude. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
old
I
school.
like
Yeah.
that, and I think that's to me from the outside looking in, and what I would like to be seen about me is that's the epitome of a man.
Yeah.
It's like he's sure of himself, and he's not going to crumble under anything.
No, yeah. Wrong or right, this is what I said, this is what I meant. And I'm willing
Mm-hmm.
to learn. But yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's old school.
Amen. All right. We're going to
All right,
close this
brother.
out. This was good. It's exactly what I expected it was going to be. I like this. And
I
it was a
was
good time.
worried I
Got
was
some
gonna
laughs in here,
disappoint.
man.
Y'all put a lot of pressure on me, man. I thought I was going. I was like, man, I don't know what to do, man. I don't have 10. I got like 40. I don't know.
It's exactly what we wanted. Exactly what we wanted.
Thank you, man. You
Um,
should scroll through them like so people can see what all I said. It's
well,
like
I think,
pages
I
and
think we,
pages.
well, we can
Yes,
give
give a quick
one,
scroll. Like,
one
yeah,
quick one real quick of,
yeah, that's all it. Just that. That's it. That's all it
but
was.
I
Just a
think
little
we
bit.
might, with your permission, I'd like to maybe put one of these on the
Absolutely.
Instagram account and maybe in the comments or whatever, because there is a lot of information that
Absolutely.
um, is left to interpretation. Each person's thing and everything. So, but yeah,
Do it.
I think we're gonna close this out.
Yeah, man.
Everyone listening, I doubt if you're listening here that you're not on the Instagram, but go check that out. There's a lot of really cool information we put out in the comments and stuff, and we put stuff like this out. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Cam. I
Again,
appreciate it, brother.
awesome. I love
It's been a
talking to
blessing.
you. You
Yeah,
got to
man.
tell me about I
The
forget how you
quantum.
worded it. Yes,
The quantum.
yeah, we're gonna
Man.
have to talk about that soon. We'll get it.
Joe Dispenza.
Just call
Drop
me
in,
up one
man.
day.
Yeah, dog.
We're gonna get on a phone call. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'll
Uh,
be there tomorrow. I'll be in tomorrow.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Come in early.
Yeah,
Sure.
but yeah, that's it, man.
All right.
And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Most importantly, if you don't do anything else, just share it. If it's on your mom's Facebook page, whatever, just hopefully somebody's gonna see it, hear it, and relate to it. Could help them. So, thank you guys for watching. Peace out of here.